The first thing Commander Elias Ward noticed about the alien palace was that it breathed. The walls flexed subtly, like the ribcage of some colossal beast, exhaling warm, mineral-scented air. Veins of bioluminescent crystal pulsed beneath translucent stone, casting slow waves of violet and gold light across the corridor. Elias forced himself to keep walking, boots steady, posture calm, even as every survival instinct screamed at him to turn around. He was human, alone, unarmed, and deep inside the capital hive of the Zarathi Dominion. The second thing he noticed was the silence. No guards marched beside him. No chains bound his wrists. The Queen herself had ordered that he be brought in unrestricted. That alone terrified the diplomats back on Earth more than any show of force could have. At the end of the corridor, the doors parted like petals responding to sunlight. The alien queen awaited him. She was taller than any human, her form both regal and alien. Six-limbed, her lower body folded beneath her like a living throne. Her exoskeleton shimmered with iridescent black and emerald hues, etched with patterns that told stories older than human civilization. Her eyes, 4 of them, focused on Elias with unsettling intensity, each reflecting a different spectrum of light. "You are smaller than your reputation," she said, her voice resonating directly in his skull, translated by the neural implant behind his ear. Elias inclined his head. "And you are larger than ours, Your Majesty." A flicker of amusement rippled through her crowned spines. This meeting was supposed to be simple. Earth had sent Elias as a final envoy after decades of Cold War with the Zarathi. Skirmishes along the frontier, vanished colonies, intercepted signals hinting at invasion. Humanity needed time. Time to rebuild fleets, to unite fractured governments, to finish the weapon that might finally level the playing field. So they sent a human. Someone expendable. The Queen gestured, and the chamber shifted. Organic stone flowed into chairs, tables, barriers of distance. Elias sat when indicated, keeping his hands visible, his breathing measured. "You know why you are here," the Queen said. "Yes," Elias replied. "To negotiate peace." "Incorrect." Her eyes narrowed. "You are here because my seers dream of humanity burning my stars." Elias swallowed. "Dreams aren't destiny." "They often are," she said. "Which is why I wish to see you. To understand the species that dares imagine my empire's end." Hours passed, or maybe minutes. Time felt strange under the palace's living ceiling. The Queen questioned him relentlessly. Human history. Or why humans fought one another so often, yet still reached for the stars together. Elias answered honestly, even when the truth painted humanity as violent, stubborn and flawed. Especially then. Eventually the Queen rose. "This audience is concluded," she declared. Relief washed through Elias. Too soon. She moved closer, her towering form blocking the chamber's light. One massive limb reached past him. The doors behind Elias sealed with a resonant, final sound. The alien queen locked the door and said, "You will stay here tonight, human." Elias's heart hammered. "With respect, Your Majesty, that was not part of." "You will stay," she repeated. "Because this is the night I decide whether your species lives." The middle of the night, if it could be called that, was the longest of Elias's life. They shared the chamber, separated only by a low, glowing barrier. The Queen remained motionless for long periods, her thoughts clearly elsewhere. Elias sat on the organic floor, replaying contingency plans that no longer mattered. Earth could not help him. No fleet could breach the Dominion in time. Finally she spoke. "My people believe strength is proven through domination," the Queen said quietly. We conquer, absorb, and erase. That is the law of survival written in our blood. Elias looked up. That's one way to survive. Her gaze sharpened. There are others. Yes, he said. Endurance, adaptation, cooperation. She let out a sound that might have been laughter. Your species fights itself endlessly. You fracture. You waste resources. And yet, you persist. We do, Elias said. Because we don't rely on being the strongest in the room. We rely on refusing to give up. He told her about Earth's darkest hours. Nuclear brinkmanship, plagues, climate collapse, times when extinction seemed inevitable, and how humans endured not because they were powerful, but because they were stubborn enough to rebuild from ashes. We're not invincible, Elias finished. But if threatened, we become something dangerous. Not because we want to rule, but because we won't kneel. The queen was silent for a long time. Then the palace shuddered. Alarms, alien and terrible, echoed through the living walls. The queen rose instantly, her attention snapping outward. Intruders, she hissed. My own warcast. They believe I hesitate. Elias felt the floor tremble as distant explosions rippled through the hive. Coup. A civil war, triggered because she had dared consider peace with humanity. If they overthrow you, Elias said, they'll attack Earth. Yes, she replied. And if I flee, my empire fractures. She turned to him. Human. Your species prides itself on endurance. Prove it. She slashed the barrier away. A weapon unfolded from her arm and dropped at his feet. Sleek, unfamiliar, humming with lethal energy. Stand with me, she said. Or die as a symbol. Elias didn't hesitate. The fighting was brutal. Elias moved with trained efficiency, adapting to alien corridors and enemies twice his size. Where the Zerathi warcast relied on rigid doctrine, Elias improvised, using collapsing walls, redirected biolight conduits, even the palace's own living structures against them. The queen watched him fight, not as a soldier, but as a force of will. By dawn cycle it was over. The coup lay crushed. The hive still stood. The queen regarded Elias as the doors finally reopened. This time she did not block his path. Return to your people, she said. Tell them this. The Zerathi will not invade Earth. Elias exhaled, exhaustion crashing over him. That's it. No, she said. We will watch you closely. Because one day, human, your species may outgrow fear. She leaned closer, her voice soft but resolute. And when that day comes, I would rather call you allies than enemies. Elias bowed deeply. As he was escorted back to his ship, he realized something profound. Humanity had not survived the night through strength of arms alone. It had survived because a single human had been willing to stand unbroken in the presence of a queen, and remind an empire that endurance could be stronger than conquest. And somewhere in the stars, the future quietly shifted.